Hello, aloha, bienvenidos, buenos tardes. For all the Hispanic homies out there supporting us, for anyone and everyone, wherever you're listening, whatever time of day you're listening, this is the Other Team Podcast, EP2, EP1 in the books. Everyone that listened to that first episode, retweeted all the good stuff. We appreciate y'all. This is the Other Team Podcast, your best podcast for Clipper talk, NBA talk, hoop knowledge. This is your boy, Zach Handy. You got the finger guns over there, Terrence Scott, and the look-alike in the other corner, Jacob Handy. These are your boys. Gentlemen, welcome back to another EP.
What it do? What it do? What it do?
This is the other team after dark.
Yeah, it is after dark. We're recording late tonight. Contrary to your belief, as smart as we are about basketball, we don't get paid for you.
We're
so we all
going
got
with the Kawhi approach. We grind without them knowing.
Yeah.
They don't. What they don't know, they don't see.
Right.
That's all I'm gonna say.
What they don't see, they don't know. Snag that. Reverse it.
Nah.
Nah.
Like the first way. Like the first way. So,
all right. Then don't.
Yeah, that's what we're going with.
But yeah, we are grinding after dark tonight. It's been a good, crazy week in hoops. Since the last time we all met and talked and got together for you guys, the Clippers have gone a solid 3-2. And I think the only games to really be of note, right, I would say is probably the Suns game, right? You get the loss. It kind of was weird. It felt weird. Did it feel weird even though, like, right, you don't have your best player or your second best player? But did it feel weird or am I tripping?
It was a bad loss.
It was a bad loss, right? That's the phrase I'm looking for.
They should beat Phoenix. They beat Phoenix's butt last year without Kawhi.
Okay, but Jake, the ball never bounces the same way 2 seasons in a row. And Terrence has always told me that. It's like you can't compare every game from last season to every game this season.
No, but Phoenix you can though. Phoenix
is a lot better.
They're a lot better. I agree. I think they're a lot better.
Are you telling me that team should not beat
the Clippers? If they have the aspirations to what they have, you can't be losing games to Phoenix like that without Kawhi Leonard.
Precisely.
Thank you. I don't want to really judge this team until Paul George is on the team because it's so stupid to knock them when they don't have their two best guns. And 100%.
It's like, are we going to talk about the load management scenario?
Yeah, I was trying to get through the Suns first, but go ahead. No, let's go. Let's just hop into it. Let's just jump in the pool. Let's just jump in the pool, boys. Load management.
I don't get my feet wet. I just jump in. I don't. You know, you walk by the pool and you do that little. How cold is it? No, we're not doing that. We're just jumping in. I didn't like it, by the way. I didn't like it. If Paul was playing, I'm down. But to have neither of them out there, what is that? Like, why? What good does that do the team in my eyes?
It just sucks for the fans, dude. Like at some point.
Yeah, I mean,
at some point. But at the same time, if you really are a Clipper fan, I think load management is best for Kawhi. But
I feel that.
I don't understand how we're load managing guys a week into the season. Like, bro, what? Like, come on.
It's all long term. I feel like
I get that, Zach.
Perspective. It's all long term. Like
saving
him minutes now does matter later.
Then why have Kawhi come out before the season starts and be like, "I'm not on a minutes restriction. There is no load management," and then literally 4th game in, you're like, "Hey, by the way, Kawhi's taking the night off."
Yeah, okay, so maybe some bad PR that way, but I do feel like as far as when he does play, there is no minutes restriction. Like they let him go when he plays. 100%. But I'm with the back-to-back.
They let him go.
If you don't want to play him, I'm down with them letting him sit on a back-to-back and then basically
another back-to-back
picking your matchup.
Thursday. Both games are nationally televised games. I don't believe they'll sit them. Don't you get fined if you sit guys on a nationally televised game? Didn't the Spurs fuck that up for everybody like 5 years ago?
That's true.
And everybody was sitting out on every Thursday night game.
Yeah,
I'd be pretty dope though if that's actually the case.
That's fine. I'll have to do some research.
Remember the NBA was
another nice little fact.
I believe that. I believe that sounds to be right.
Because it was the same year the Spurs kept doing it, and then LeBron kept doing it, and they were like, it was like a Thursday night, and they couldn't get LeBron or the Spurs to play, and the NBA was all pissed, like, you're losing us money. What are we doing here?
But back to the load management thing, in my opinion, like I do think they should load manage him, but it's like it's just a little unjust to load manage him without Paul being. No one has to when you load manage Paul when. You're going to load manage both of them, but you're going to stagnate it when you do it. You're not going to sit both of them. I hope he doesn't sit both of them some nights because it just sucks, dude. It just sucks. Like, I hate when people bring it up. Well, think of the fans, but in a way, dude, like low key, think of the fans. Like that, it does accumulate as kind of sucking. Like,
if you spent your birthday gift to go see the Clippers, no matter what city you're from, maybe you're a Clipper fan, you know, in Utah or whatever, and you spent your birthday. Hey, mom, what do you want? Well, the Clippers come the week of my birthday. I'd love to go see Kawhi and the gang. And Paul George is hurt, and now you don't get to see Kawhi. I agree with Terrence. It's like, look, dude, mom just dropped $400 on my birthday for me.
They bring your championship.
What the fuck is that?
Johnny's happy, but it's just
but you know, like you said, you get it.
It's just weird, but at the end of the day, those dudes got to win, and it's just awkward right now when you don't have Paul. Like,
what's more important, winning the 5th game or the last game?
Right, exactly, the last game, and that's why I have no problem.
Zero
problem with load management. Run it. Kawhi says I don't want to play back to back. No problem, bro. Which game do you want to play?
I don't think Kawhi said that. I literally think it's just Clipper management telling Kawhi like, hey, bro, this is what we do here. Like, this is our goal.
They should load manage him. Just like, can we get Paul back? Because I'm pretty sure Paul's on his way back. He's been having a lot of workouts.
It keeps sounding like literally the 11th game. Like he's sitting for 10, and then game 11 he's ready. It's really what I've heard multiple press conferences where they asked Doc about it, and he said the same thing. We're resting him 10 games. Like he won't give him a date, but he does keep saying that. So it's kind of just like I don't know. Maybe I'm just looking too much into it, but it's something I've noticed.
Yeah. Rodney McGruder has joined the team. He was the other one that's been on the shelf and really hasn't been talked about being on the shelf. Impact, no impact, help.
There's impact. I mean, it's more depth.
Discussion at all about it?
There's more depth. Like it's just like, God forbid somebody like Mo Harkless or like one of those other guys go down. It's another guy that can fill right into that role. Maybe
Who
not
loses minutes because of it, or does no one lose minutes? Do you think he just
no one loses minutes?
Yeah,
but he
I'm like
for an injury.
Yeah, and I'm like, if anybody, I think Jerome Robinson was getting some minutes lately. That's the guy. He probably gets cut out a little.
He should go back. Jerome should fluctuate a lot through the G League anyway this season. So
I think they're trying not to do that because they did it last year. But I agree, it could help him. I think he just needs to keep getting minutes somewhere.
I think he plays the wrong position. He's got to be a trade piece. They got to find a way to up his value, whether it is in G League or whether it is anything else. But he's.
I wish
like with Landry's emergence, with how good he is and how much he fits this roster, and obviously you still have Lou. Jerome's kind of behind the 8 ball here. Now you have a guy like Rodney McGruder who can even still play that position as well if need be. I don't know. I agree. I don't think really anyone loses minutes, but I do like McGruder. I think he brings like an edge defensively, which is what you want, and I think also like he's a capable shooter at times.
Yeah, I would agree to that. He's another 3-and-D guy, and you can never have enough of those in today's NBA.
Yeah, I think he's like his biggest asset is his defense to me. Like just his like defense through athleticism. I think that's his biggest asset, which goes with the depth. It's just another depth defensive piece. If you get in foul trouble or injuries, it's 82 games. You know, all kinds of weird shit's gonna happen. It's just another piece to grab for sure.
So how sweet is it though that out of the back-to-back that he stuck it to Popovich and the Spurs again? I mean, I none of us here have beef with the Spurs or Popovich. It's gonna kind of sound like that with the way this comes out, but it's still cool that like Kawhi does have beef with them. So like it's kind of cool to see him like stick it to them when he has the opportunity.
Did you see the exchange between him and Pop at the end of the game?
Yeah, I feel
everybody like said that was dope. I thought that was the weirdest exchange ever.
Yeah,
I feel like Pop always goes super loving on it, and Kawhi kind of just shrugs it off. Is like the vibe I always get from that.
And what's weird is Pop's not even like a loving guy, and it's like, damn, it's a weird thing, man.
Pop's so loving. I think Pop's a guy, unless you're Craig Sager, R.I.P.
Nah, it's not even just like that. I just don't think
shoulder.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I know Pop's a dope dude, but it's just weird.
He's a little like Belichick, like in the public eye, he's not really
he's
hugging
more like
and kissing.
I see that.
Right, you know?
Exactly.
And I agree with that.
That's a great way to say it. He's more like Belichick.
Right, because I'm sure, like behind closed door, I'm sure Belichick is hugging, and you know he says funny ass shit. And
side note, did you guys see that video of Belichick and Randy?
Oh yeah, I will. I will get distracted on this real quick. That was hilarious. That was fantastic.
Can we just talk? If we're gonna talk about that, can we talk about how Belichick was uncertain about going and then showed up with the best Jack Sparrow costume I've ever seen in my life? Like I didn't even recognize him. was 30 minutes ago. The guy wasn't even going to the party, and then he showed up with the best costume. Like, okay, Bill, you just had this in the closet. Like, what? What?
That's true. Bill knew the whole time. Bill was like, "I'm gonna get invited, or someone's gonna get cut." Like,
I paused the video because, like,
Bill's
I didn't recognize it was Bill.
He went to slay. Like,
yeah,
that's the best part about it.
It was at a roller rink, and he's all got a girl in his hand. He's like swaying, crushing it on the skates. I'm like, oh, okay. So Bill in the '60s, like early coach, was like spending his weekends, grooving on the skates. Like, he was totally about it. I was like, okay, Bill, you're way too prepared for this.
Acid. About to stand up, he goes, "You wouldn't be interested, would you?"
He realized, like, I gotta invite Coach. Like, all right, man.
He was like, "I'm gonna take a shot in the dark, and I'm gonna hope he comes."
Yeah.
But you know what I've been realizing in the box scores though, who's his efficiency rating is Patrick Beverley. Like, he's been having really high efficient games and then really low efficient games. It's pretty weird.
I'm glad you brought that up.
His per number has been pretty interesting when you check the box scores. So his impact on the game isn't as big as we think.
Yeah. I remember last week, me and Jacob kind of jumped on you, maybe, or didn't, but we definitely disagreed. And we were like, don't worry about him shooting. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I will tell you, after watching 5 games since then, I was wrong and you were right. He's going to have to be much better offensively.
Yeah, he's got to knock him down.
He's going to have to knock down shots. He's going to have to be more efficient. And he's going to have to contribute a little bit. And I was completely wrong last week in the way I judged that. And you hit it right on the head. You were right. Like, he's got to do more. He's got to do more than be a hype man. And you're right about that.
Can't start a guy that can't score like that. It's just not in today's NBA. You got to be able to knock down shots. And you're not asking him to do nothing spectacular. Just knock down the ones that are.
I agree. Knock down the ones that are open. If you can do that, knock down most of
Sorry
those.
about that. My mic got weird. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Jacob, yes, we can hear you. What is going on,
dude? My mic has been acting so weird today. It's just been acting weird. I'm sorry.
Gosh, you're killing me.
I think I got it, though.
We're good, man. We're out here. We're still running. We're swimming, man.
Another thing we did talk about, right? We talked about interior defense, and I saw a crazy good Zubac line that I had to mention. Inside of 8 feet, dudes are shooting 31% against Zubac, which I thought was like crazy good, especially for a guy we don't look at as a rim protector. Like, that is more than holding your own in the paint. I thought that was
Zubac is nice. I've always liked Zubac.
I do too, and I think Jake's right. We talked a lot last week about struggling rebounding, struggling with interior defense possibly, and I think this team has heard that from not just obviously us. They probably haven't even heard it from us yet, but hopefully they have. Shout out you guys if you came across us.
But in all seriousness, same place,
right? From the dirt, 661. But in all realness, I'm sure we had the same take as a few other basketball aficionados in saying that the Clippers might lack there, and I think they've hit it and maybe heard those whispers and killed it. I think they played really well. Yeah, yeah, exactly. But you know where you got it first. So one thing I wanted to do this week was I had a terrible idea of all of us coming to this podcast and saying our 16 playoff teams, and that would have lasted 2 hours, and it would have been.
I wrote them all down, by the way, just for.
I did write them all down too. If you want them,
I have mine in an Excel sheet. So.
Yeah. Okay, that's lit. But Terrence had the better idea, and we're gonna go with one team that made the playoffs last year that will not make it this year, and one team that will make the playoffs that did not make it last year. Obviously, from each conference.
So you gotta read off last year playoff teams, Zach?
Yeah, I can find that. I believe. Let me. I've been looking. Does anyone have it?
Intern strikes again.
Oh man, that's tough, man. I don't think that's fair. But I'm gonna get it right now. Watch out. Give me like 5 seconds. Bear with me. You guys have any elevator music or
the Jeopardy? Do 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 do. I think I have it right here, by the way.
Alrighty, got it.
Look at you guys. I got it, by the way. If anyone's worried, I finally got it.
Go ahead, bud.
Oh.
I lied. I don't have it.
All right, I got it. You ready?
No, do you have it, Jake? Because I really don't have it up.
Okay, I do have it actually now. If you guys are ready for it.
Look at me throw my phone out the fucking window.
It's Golden State, Clippers, Houston, Utah, Portland, OKC, and Denver, San Antonio.
Terrence, phenomenal job, brother.
All day, man.
I'm ready, by the way.
I'm gonna say it in a more chronological order. I feel like it's gonna help me to say it out loud that way. From 8 to 1, Clippers, Spurs, Thunder, Jazz, Rockets, Blazers, Nuggets, Warriors. One of those teams will not make the playoffs this year. Someone tell me who.
I'll go first.
Go ahead, because it's a layup. Go ahead and take the layup, Jake.
The Dubs.
It's the Dubs. The Dubs are now L's.
And replacing them.
Oh, okay.
Also,
I
can only pick
Terrence,
one, right?
Right, you can only pick one. OKC is a little spicy to me. I think they're better there than people think. I don't know. Am I crazy?
You're crazy. OKC's not making it.
Do you also think the Warriors will not make it as well? Are you just picking,
yes.
Or do you think? Okay, that's fair. I didn't want to think I didn't want people to think
Steph
crazy.
was my MVP pick, but
right.
Clearly that's done, and if he's done, they're done. So.
Right. Exactly. I can get behind OKC too. I could see them missing, but I want to say I do think they're better than people think, and I think CP has a lot of freedom with the ball again, and I think that's honestly going to be better than what people think. But I don't know. I could be crazy.
Shay's looking like most improved right now, just off the first week and a half. I'm just saying he looks like the front.
Shea looks fantastic. Oh gosh,
it'll be a good battle. It'll be a good battle for sure.
I don't know if it will. I think Brandon Ingram is built more for the longevity of the season to upstand those numbers more than Shea.
You good over there, man? You good, Jake?
I just burped.
But Zach, who do you think is the team that won't make it in the West?
I was gonna take the layup. and say the Dubs. I don't see it. I could see OKC though. I kind of saw that. I looked there, but everyone else I could say from last year, I mean Spurs. I kind of feel like that sometimes when I watch the Spurs play. I'm like, you guys will just never be what you were before, and sometimes you guys don't look good. But given how even the playing field is, I think DeMar DeRozan will win that team games in the Western Conference. So I don't think the Spurs are going to be like top 4, top 5, possibly not even top 6. But I think they'll probably find a way to squeak in there at a 7 or 8 like Pop always does. So from the Eastern Conference, I'll go again. I'll give it to you guys 8-1. Pistons, Magic, Nets, Pacers, Celtics, Sixers, Raptors, Bucks. Give me one of those teams that will not be there from the Eastern Conference. Okay, you guys ready? Because I have this one.
I was about to say.
One of these is a layup too. Do I get the layup? You guys want to give it to me on the fast break?
I'm not taking the layups.
Right. Okay, I'll take the layup. The Magic will obviously, I think, will not be in the playoffs this year.
I don't think that's the layup.
No. I think the Magic will
they're in
make
my
it.
8, by the way. When we did the 16, they're in my 8.
Move your microphone to your face a little bit more, Jacob, please. While you get
Sorry.
You're good.
They're definitely in my 8 as well.
So wait,
I said
you
Pistons.
guys both like the Magic? Ooh,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I said Pistons because I don't know if they'll hold it down long enough without Blake, and then I assume when Blake comes back, he's still not going to be he'll be healthy, but will he really be healthy fresh off an injury? I don't know, and I just don't know if it's really built for that. Like, their team is built to really withstand no Blake and D-Rose to kind of carry. I hate to say it, but you assume D-Rose is going to get hurt at some point in time. I don't know if they're really built to withstand injury like that, so I'd probably go Pistons don't make it.
I'm going Indiana.
Oh, you're out of here.
I like Indiana's roster a lot, but just something makes me feel like they're gonna regress a little bit. And having an Oladipo injury,
I wish I had like a spicy button so I could spicy that is hot right there.
I don't know. I just feel Indiana's gonna miss out this season. They're banking on TJ Warren a lot, and if he's not gonna, who is a very capable scorer in the NBA, but he's gonna have to put the ball in the hoop for them a lot. And so far, he's struggling. And I don't know if he's gonna fit that system. It's early. I'm not trying to jump off, but even before the season, I always thought this with Oladipo missing so much time, it's gonna hurt them.
That's spicy because I think Brogdon looks fantastic, and I think Brogdon and Turner can hold it down in that Eastern Conference for sure in a playoff spot. I me personally speaking, I don't know.
I agree with Zach. I think they're like a lock.
They were in mind.
Wow, that's spicy. Good Lord. I'm glad. I mean, you got to bring a spicy take in every episode. I'm happy you brought it today, brother. Good for you. That got like my heart racing when I heard you say it. I was like, what are his facts? Why is he saying this? Okay, so Western Conference, these teams did not make the playoffs last year. And I want you guys to tell me who will make the playoffs out of these teams. Kings, Lakers, Timberwolves, Grizzlies, Pelicans, Mavericks, Suns.
Erase the Lakers out of this. Obviously, Lakers are in. Erase the Lakers out of that.
Kings, Timberwolves, Grizzlies, Pelicans, Mavericks, Suns.
Mavericks. The Euro duo is nasty. I like them to make the playoffs in the West. I
do too. I will tell you right now, I think Timberwolves could be in there as well if a team like the Spurs, as I said, also does not make it like they did last year. I think the Pelicans will compete with or without Zion. I think they'll be just short.
I feel like the Pelicans have lost every game and dropped 130 points. Or I'm tripping. Does it not feel like that?
Yeah,
they score a lot of points.
The Pelicans are not a bad basketball team. I'll tell you that much right now. They're not a bad basketball team.
No, that's who I would pick to make the playoffs is the Pelicans. I think the safer pick is Dallas, but this is more of me rooting for the Pelicans to make the playoffs. I do want to see that team succeed, I guess. Yeah. But I do like that roster.
It's fine. Everyone loves players. We all like. You're a Brandon Ingram. I do like that. It's totally fun to be that.
Definitely like Brandon Ingram, and I like Lonzo too. But I just think that roster is capable enough in the West to compete. Drew Holiday is really a star. Like he's a two-way star. Like I'm not gonna call him a star or anything, but the dude is a star.
Whoa! You having okay?
Oh, we just had the World Series, right? Most underrated player. That's Drew Holiday. He's the most underrated guard that nobody talks about.
Jacob, you gotta stop talking right now. Stop talking. Stop. No, Jacob. You just had like a stroke on air. Your whole microphone had a stroke. We were worried. I almost had to go in there on camera and go in the other room and talk to you.
I got a poor connection. I got poor connection right now.
That was hilarious.
I was like, that was scary. That was hilarious. That was scary. When you guys are listening to this later, do not be alarmed. Jacob's fine. I don't know what happened, but give it. I don't
know. Twice if you're
right. Good Lord, that was scary.
Can I give that a second try?
I honestly, we're just gonna scratch whatever that take was. The world didn't want to hear it. It wasn't meant to be. We're gonna scratch whatever you said.
Hey man, like twisted.
And we're just gonna move on. We're gonna go to the Eastern Conference, Jake. We're gonna leave it right there. I picked the Mavericks, by the way. I picked the Mavericks as well. After what I saw from the Mavericks in the beginning of the season, I think they're gonna be really tough. I really like Luka. He's for real. Eastern Conference. I've been waiting for this, by the way, and I know I'm going to have the same as one of you guys. I can't wait to get hyped about it in like 30 seconds. One of these teams will make the playoffs that didn't make it last year.
No, Terrence is.
Hornets, Heat, Wizards, Hawks, Bulls, Cavs, Knicks. Gosh, I'm so stoked. Yeah, me too. I'm here with you, brother.
I feel like that's a good one, but I'm also looking at because there's two teams I feel like might drop out of the Eastern Conference.
I didn't even hear any of the other teams. I was just waiting for you to say Hawks.
Because I do think, like I said, I do think Indiana can fall out the Eastern Conference, and I don't disagree with you guys with Detroit. So I think a team in Orlando maybe could even slide out. So I do think teams like Washington and Chicago are going to compete for an 8th or 7th seed. They may not get in, but those teams are going to compete.
I think Washington's headed for another top 3 to 5 pick.
I'd rather go for real.
I think Washington sucks too. Honestly, I'm not trying to be mean to you guys that like Washington, but I think you guys stink big ones. Not very good.
But thank God for the Nationals because the Redskins and the fucking Wizards are both trash.
But thank God for Ovechkin and thank God for Juan Soto because it's butt over there.
Yeah, Bradley's average. They're not, 27 and 8 assists. Oh yeah, they're not gonna be. Hachimura is averaging 18. Okay.
Little side eye over there.
Nobody picked him for Roy or Dark Horse, huh?
But I will say this: no one's mentioned the Heat on that list, and I think obviously the Heat are definitely going to be in the playoffs.
4 starts. He's 4 for 4. That's nice.
That is nice. Heat. Do we all think the Heat will definitely be in the playoffs? Is that why we never talked about them? It's Jimmy buckets. Come on.
They didn't make the hero. Oh,
That's what I'm saying. We didn't really talk about them, but I was too excited to say the Hawks. I love. Like, can we get back to the Hawks?
actually, the
I'm
other team. I'm
huge
tripping.
on the Hawks this year. I think the Hawks could literally be a 4 seed in the East. Or call me crazy.
Yeah. No, I'm not calling you crazy. I think Trae Young is so good at fucking basketball. It's outrageous.
I think Trae Young is like the Steph Curry comparison is accurate, but at the same time, Steph was nowhere near the passer this kid was at this early in his. He ain't even as good as a passer as Trae Young is now. Steph is kind of he gives you turnovers sometimes.
Yeah, I mean Steph's a great passer, but like you say, he can pass the ball.
I wouldn't call Steph a great passer. I think Steph's a really good passer. I wouldn't call him a great passer. Trae Young is a phenomenal passer. Like this dude has vision.
Sees it all.
Vision.
Steph is a scorer and like shooter. He could pass. Don't get me wrong, but he's not really a true point guard. And Trae Young is actually a true point guard. Who got a crazy jumper.
He pulling up from the logo all casual. Hey, what's a 42-footer? Bang. I'm like,
And he's not even that big of a guy, and it just looks effortless. It's like,
how do you throw it that? How do you like? I'm not even asking how you shoot it. Like, how are you throwing it that far into the hoop from that deep?
Wait,
like
since we did bring up the Heat, I do want to mention Kendrick Nunn.
Yeah. Whoa.
Shout out.
Lefty.
Shout out.
Hey, they said guys pulling like 18 shots a game right now.
Why
They're
not?
going in. They're going in. He's averaging like 25.
Shoot more, kid, if they let you. Shoot it every damn time.
Until they respect you, you got to shoot it.
Bro should keep shooting for real, though.
Yeah. Any other teams? If we're going to talk predictions or anything like that, anything else you guys want to fan out? I just love the Hawks. Obviously we enjoy the Clippers. This is a Clipper podcast, but I will say like a team I will have my eye on all year is that Atlanta Hawks team. I like that team a lot.
For sure.
So the last thing I want to say is, I think we'll do this every few weeks. You know, this is obviously the other team, and that's who we're focused on. That's who we're going to open with every week is the other team in LA. But let's check in over there. They're off to a hot start. Let's check in across the hall at Staples. Just a couple quick words on the Lakers. How they looking? What do we think? I think they look good. Like I'm not going to sit here and make this a Laker hater podcast. They look good.
And he got his athleticism back and told me to shut the hell up. So
with that dunk tonight, you're damn right he did that. Body.
When he dunked that, I was like,
Caruso's body. Whoa.
Oh, for sure. Shout out Caruso. Put him in a body bag. Cook him up. Like, good Lord.
And AD is crazy good.
Lakers look good. I'm not gonna lie. Tonight's win impressed me. The way they kind of like battled. That was a real battle. They had to battle such a battled win for them. Tonight's win was like their real, actual, like impressive win that they've had so far with me. All the other ones you were supposed to have, but tonight's win was impressive.
It was a good win. They should have lost, but it was a good win.
They should have lost, but that's why I think it's a good win.
Jacob, can you step away from your? Thank you. Why do you have to get? Why do when you talk?
Because I'm going back and forth, and forth. I'm
like Jacob rapping when he give his take.
And
like it's all in.
LeBron comes, ooh, la la la.
But yeah, that LeBron looked good tonight. I thought they had to battle. Impressive win. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a good season for LA basketball, man, in all facets of it. Obviously, the other team is the better team, but ain't too bad across the
hall.
I'm
not mistaken, though. Kawhi Leonard is ranked number 1 in fantasy basketball. It could just be our league stats, but he's ranked number 1 in our league for overall. So.
I will say Kawhi is he continues to impress me with his facilitating ability. None of us going into this thought he would facilitate as well as he is now, and he's facilitating.
I think last night he only had 2 assists.
He had literally 1 assist last night, but he's still looking to make plays for others, which is impressing me.
True, very true.
This man's averaging 29.
Does anybody want to know what I had to say before the demon took over the mic? Or
Jacob, that's done.
29, 7, and 6 though. That man is a baller.
Yeah. How about he looks like the best player on the planet. I'm not trying to be biased for the pod or biased for the content, anything like that. I think he looks like the best player on the planet right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's way too early. Overreaction, whatever. But it's that's what he looks like through 6 games. Easy call.
Chuck obviously is one of the worst people to talk about when it comes to a basketball take, but he did say something that I definitely agreed with. He said that of course I love him to death. He said that right now Kawhi imposes his will on a game more than any other player, and I kind of felt that. I kind of agreed a lot with that right now. You can tell his he He puts himself into a game. And that's not something you can see in a box score. You have to watch the games to like really get that with every player. And I was like, you're right. Like Kawhi Leonard turns the tide of a game himself. You can feel it more.
And
you know what?
People overlook that. I like that you brought that up because people overlook that fact of stars because stuff like that isn't on paper. And that's why I've always told you guys why I was always high on Kobe when I look back, because that guy had that in him.
Yeah. You just insert yourself into the play, like into the flow of the game. Like, and all of a sudden the whole flow of the game starts revolving around like your play. And just like we both said, you can't even see that in a box score. You literally have to watch the game to see that.
Yep.
Yeah.
But Bron did.
Bron tonight, exactly, 100%. Bron tonight, exactly.
Hey, you know what I thought was funny about that game tonight? Luka Doncic is really a European soccer player, like soft sometimes. He loves like he's with the theatrics. Like I know he got banged up tonight.
Smacked hard in the back of the head.
He got banged up tonight, and it was probably possibly his most physical game of his NBA career tonight. He got really banged up tonight and knocked around, and Lakers were really physical with him. But he was like so theatrical about it. It was so like a little floppy, a little
all of those dudes be floppy.
Of course, they all be floppy.
But Luka's so good, but he definitely be having his hand under a lot of those hezzies. But I'm not. Hey, dude, the NBA is the NBA. They ain't calling nothing.
He's under him. He's under the hezzies.
A lot of those.
He's saying
just look how he whips those passes is because his hand was already under the ball, so he whipped it so quick. Yeah. But Luka's so good, dude. I can't. That dude game is great. He's on my fantasy team. I'm a huge Luka fan. I almost traded you for Trae Young. That would have been a bad idea.
All right. Anything last words on your last week and a half in the NBA season? No. Anybody?
Since I last saw the pod, I have now got a beard trimmer. So if anybody who watches our pod on YouTube ever sees my facial hair looking scraggly and trash, you better let me know so I can adjust it quickly. That's all I wanted to say to the fans.
Real life choices. You put shelves up last pod, and now you got a beard trimmer this pod. You're just growing into a young man in front of everybody right now. Look at you. Good for you, brother.
Yep. So that was it. That's all. That's the only piece I want to get off. Just know that if it ever is getting out of hand, it shouldn't. That's all. Yeah. That's it. That's it for me.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on your beard trimmer.
All
brother.
I got is I'm excited to see the upcoming games with the Clippers. I want to see them play the Bucks. The Greek freaking Giannis is going to be nice. Can't wait to see that.
I enjoy the early competition.
Freaking Kawhi.
Safe trip. Terrence going to see his Lions this week.
Oh, that is true. Safe travels to Terrence. He will be traveling to the Bay to see Staffy and the boys. Send pics for sure.
I want a final score prediction of Sunday's game, Terrence. Let me hear it.
I think the Lions will win 27-17.
Oh,
it's a good game.
Going into Oakland and handling biz.
Oh, yeah. We're going to handle that. Handle that.
Who's Chucky? I ain't never heard of him. Who's John Gruden? I think my parents watched him. I never heard of him.
He's a
has-been. Never was.
He's a character. I thought that guy was a commentator.
I didn't mean any of that.
Nice.
Actually, I'm a Gruden guy. I'm a Gruden fan.
Yeah, I like Gruden.
I actually low-key do like the Raiders. I'm not a Raider fan, but I
like the Raiders too.
Really like the Raiders.
I like the Raiders.
I will say since the last time I saw the pod, I learned that my favorite football team is worthless to me, and I'm heartbroken and sad. The Chicago Bears are just sickening to watch on offense. It makes my stomach burn. It makes my stomach feel like there's a gallon of curdled milk in it when I watch us play offense. It's just rotten, sick.
Music.
But besides that, life has been good since I last saw the pod. But the Bears make me sad. So that's me in the last 10 days.
Bravo. It takes a strong man to admit that it's
watching his Bears miss kicks, and Terrence
I was in full bar.
Just for the
full
record.
Bar. Yeah. Anyone who watches sports knows how the Bears game ended. Shanked last second field goal as time expired, basically. I don't even think basically. I think it was as time expired. 100% it was. And I was in a full bar, and there was me and one other Bears guy, and we really felt good about that kick. I'm not going to lie to you. They had already missed one earlier, so we felt like he had got it out of the way. And it low-key
looked good.
Right right off the foot, it looked good, and then you quickly realize like, damn. And it was sad. Like I had to sit through a whole nother slate of games at the same bar while everyone was talking crap about the Bears, and I was just
Fully
like,
left, just pulled it left. Get over here.
Just feels like it's never going to stop with this team. Kicking troubles, quarterback troubles, offense troubles, like every year.
Missed it by that much.
Yeah, that was tough. It was real tough. I would say if there was a list of if there was a list of most disappointing NFL teams this year, I feel like the Bears would top that list, and that hurts my soul. It's a bummer.
Browns. Browns probably top the list, but Bears are right there with them.
1B, you know.
I think the Bears would top the list.
Right.
Then it'll be the
1B.
We're garbage, dude. Like we're so garbage.
Bears, Chargers, Browns. 1A, 1B.
1A, 1B.
And they all draft quarterbacks. What?
I know.
Oh God.
All gonna just go redraft quarterbacks.
We're gonna get Tom Brady when he
like,
leaves the Patriots next year. Tom Brady's coming to the Bears.
Formula.
It's gonna be.
That's
sick.
not happening.
It's gonna be so sick.
Watch when the Browns. Nah, I'm not gonna say that's crazy shit. That's not happening. Let me not put that on air.
Stop it right now. We're recording.
Right. This is getting dropped later. All right.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. Finish it up.
Go ahead.
Never mind.
No, go ahead, Jake.
I want to say what the demon wouldn't allow me to say.
No, that's so done. We're done. Get it out of here, dude. That was.
We're out of here. We're out of here.
Come on,
man.
Just
safe travels, Terrence.
Click stop recording, and then I'll tell you guys.
Okay, sure, maybe. I'm not going to listen to it, but thank you, everyone. Listen, follow, share with your friends, man. We just out here BSing, talking sports. Hopefully, we gave you guys a good laugh. Hopefully, we gave you guys some good topics to go to the bar with, go to your friends with. Every week, EP2 in the books. Terrence Scott, Jacob, Handy. Appreciate y'all, gentlemen. Always a pleasure. Safe travels, my friend Terrence. Give him hell in the Bay, baby.